I'm Kelly Vaughn, and welcome to Inside Indy. Today we have a very special show for you. Our friend is Amy Vanderoff, and she's here to show us an easy way, get this, to look younger, healthier, and feel more confident. If your teeth are yellowing due to coffee, and I am a coffee drinker, I'll admit that, tea, red wine, or smoking, you need to pay attention tonight. A wider smile can not only make you more attractive and take years off of your appearance, it can also have an effect on your career. And if you want whiter teeth in 5 minutes, can you believe that? You can have it if you listen to Amy. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, you said it all right there, right? We want to look good. We want to look good now. We don't want to wait for results. In less than 5 minutes, I can brighten your teeth up to 2 shades whiter, and it's all possible because of Powerswabs.
I love it. I love it. So now you have a brand new test you'd like to share with our viewers about their smile, right? What's the test?
Yeah. Yes, I love showing these digitally altered photos for Powerswabs because it shows you what your teeth can look like over time when our very porous enamel will absorb those stains, like you said, coffee, tea, red wine, even smoking. And we always say when you look at these photos, who's more attractive? Who do you remember? Whose smile really stands out to you? It's no surprise someone with whiter teeth just looks younger, more attractive and healthier. So we're always, not surprised by those results. But we were surprised to learn that so many people will remember you also for not so good reasons. We'll remember the person who maybe didn't smile using all of their teeth, didn't look so healthy and fresh and confident due to the staining and yellow teeth.
All right, man. I mean, you are inspiring me tonight. I know that, to get it together when it comes to our teeth. So you've said that 100% of women and men interviewed said the person on the right was more attractive, right?
Yeah, so whiter, brighter smile is just the best anti-aging hack I can give you guys, right? So we're all looking to look younger, but we don't want to get something home and have to use it 4 to 6 weeks every day as directed. Then maybe you'll see noticeable results. The cool thing about whitening your teeth is that it will make you look younger instantly. But so many people have opted out of teeth whitening over the years. Why? They think it's too time consuming, too messy, it tastes bad, or even worse, that it causes painful sensitivity. If you've ever tried teeth whitening in the past, you know what that feels like. The cool thing about Powerswabs is that it was created by a dentist. He listened to the issues of concern when it came to teeth whitening in the past. It has to work, has to be effective, it can't cause painful sensitivity. We've got to hydrate those teeth first. And again, noticeable results. You'll notice up to 2 shades whiter in that first application, and that only takes 5 minutes.
Okay. Now, did the people say the person on the right the same thing as well?
Well, when you look at the 2 photos, like I said, the digitally altered photos show someone with a brighter, whiter smile. Everybody finds that more attractive, more confident, and you look younger and fresher. Sometimes when you have a not so good smile, you might be remembered for that too, of lack of confidence, of maybe looking not so healthy and fresh because your teeth do yellow over time. We're human. We're going to indulge in those things like coffee, chocolate, red wine, and tea. That's why Powerswabs created a 2-step process to not only whiten the teeth, guys, but also to lift those stains off. We're hydrating the teeth. We're lifting the stains off, then we go in and whiten the teeth, and it's just a swab. It couldn't be easier to use.
Oh, and you're just doing it right there on TV in front of everybody.
That's right.
I love it. See, there's your proof right there. So is Powerswabs really, really that easy and quick to use? I know you've just demonstrated, but
yes.
You mentioned 5 minutes. Tell us about the quickness and the easiness of it.
Yeah, we need quick, we need easy, right? Because otherwise we won't comply. Otherwise we'll get products home and we won't use them if it's not easy and it doesn't already fit into our very chaotic and busy day. So again, it's a 2-step process and it is just a swab. And here's the good news, guys. No rinsing, no spitting, no unpleasant taste. I know you all have those things associated with teeth whitening in the past. This blue swab is 2 minutes. This whitening swab is 2 minutes, so it truly is less than 5 minutes. And when you do the 2-step process and you glide it on your teeth and you let it sit there, up to 2 shades whiter in that first application, up to 6 shades whiter when you use Powerswabs every day for 7 days. And once you use Powerswabs for 7 days, you're done.
Okay, now I'm a coffee drinker. I mentioned that earlier, right?
Yes.
That's the first thing I do in the morning is get my coffee on. So I cannot go without my a cup of coffee, Amy. So of course, my teeth do get stained. How can Powerswabs help somebody like me?
Okay, well, I am not going to take your coffee away from you, or your tea, or your red wine, or your chocolate. And maybe you're having all those things right now while you're watching this program. Hashtag no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. We get it, right? We are human. We're going to indulge in things over time. That's why it's so important to do a two-step process when whitening your teeth. You want to use the blue swab to lift the stains off and hydrate the teeth. Hydrating the teeth is important because that's why you're not receiving painful sensitivity that's been associated with teeth whitening in the past, right? So many of those trays and strips, they drain your teeth, and they of that hydration, of that moisture, they strip it of that. That's why you receive those painful zingers and we all know what that feels like. So this is a very easy process. Again, we lift the stains off first, then we whiten the teeth. And again, it's just a swab. It could not be easier. No unpleasant taste, and you leave it on your teeth. And again, you'll notice visible results after just that first application.
Now, Amy, it seems like we're always just waiting for results. And I think about the trays. I've tried that before, where you have to wait over so many days. So it makes sense to try something that will show us results from the very first use.
Yes, from the very first use. And that's the thing that I talk about. I'm sitting at my desk right now. I have a drawer right here. I call it the product graveyard. We all know we get products home that don't give us results right away, and then we don't comply. And then we don't want to use it anymore. Then we get frustrated and boop, it goes in the product graveyard, never to be seen again. Powerswab solves that problem because the ease of use, because it is pleasant to use, and the fact that it literally takes just 4 minutes and you can see those visible results. Again, blue swab first 2 minutes, whitening swab for 2 minutes, and you can get up to 2 shades whiter in that first application.
Now, there's so many products out there, Amy, but what makes, in your mind, makes Powerswabs different?
All of the things that we just mentioned really set Powerswabs apart, but then there's another key component. Powerswabs works on natural teeth like mine, but if you have artificial surfaces, so think caps, crowns, veneers, Powerswabs will also work for those surfaces. Now, that's a huge innovation when it comes to teeth whitening. So many people who had a mix of natural teeth and veneers in their mouth had to opt out of teeth whitening before because a power whitening system could not whiten all of those surfaces. So again, because Powerswabs was created by a dentist, he really addressed all the issues of concern when it came to teeth whitening in the past, made it easy to use, made it effective, made it pain-free, and gives you those results so quickly.
Okay, so for people, if you're interested, the number is on the screen, or of course you can go to powerswabs.com, and you've got a special deal going right now?
Of course, we love to bring you guys good news. 40% off Powerswabs for your viewers right now. A huge value. Plus free shipping, because we expect that these days. It makes everything better. Also, I'm going to include this guy in your order today. This is your quick stick. Because when you indulge over time and your teeth might get a little, absorbent and stained, you use this. You just rub it on your teeth. This is your quick stick. Your stain remover on the go. TSA approved. I call it lip gloss for your teeth. It's so easy to use. We're keeping it in your order today for absolutely free. So Powerswabs is coming to you at such a special value.
Okay, so the contact info is on the screen. We appreciate you so much, Amy, for stopping by today and enlightening us on Powerswabs and making our smiles bright.
You're so welcome. Powerswabs.com has all the information you need to know.
All right, you got it, folks. Check it out on the screen. We're going to take a break, and we come back. We'll have more here for you on Inside Indy.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You look good, girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialist and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
Take care.
we will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
I have a dream It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day,
One man's
right down
dream
in Georgia,
of racial
Mississippi,
equity and harmony. Unity, seeing people as people, created in the image of God, is central to the Christian message. Acts records, "From one man he made every nation of men." God did this so men would seek him. Celebrate the creation, celebrate the vision, and celebrate each other as God celebrates you.
with this faith, I will go out with you and transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. With this faith, we will be able to achieve this new day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing with the Negroes in the spiritual of all, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty. We are free at last.
Habitat for Missions invites you to join us in making a difference in your community and beyond. As we celebrate the hundreds of thousands of new resources raised and unleashed in the kingdom, we invite your church to partner with Habitat for Missions. We have been supporting missionaries, planting new churches, building a vocational school in Uganda, helping young girls in India to have a safe place to live and learn, investing in at-risk teens in South Bend, Indiana, and much more. We're moving houses, renovating houses, and unleashing brand new resources in communities across America. Partnering with HFM helps build community in your church or organization. It promotes your ministry to the community, and it gives your church an opportunity to have new resources for the mission that motivates you. Habitat for Missions, investing in lives, one house flip at a time.
And we're back here on Inside Indy. And when it comes to our children, there's nothing we wouldn't do for our children, whether they're our children or the children of our community. And there is a woman that we're going to be talking to tonight who leads the charge on advocating for children when no one else oftentimes will. She is Cindy Booth, and she is the CEO of Child Advocates here in Central Indiana. Welcome to the show, Cindy.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that kind introduction. There are many people who worry about the well-being of our children, as we all should.
So now, Child Advocates has been around for a while, but give us a little bit of who you are, what you do, so that people understand what you're about.
Well, for nearly 40 years, we've the CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocate Organization. We have since sort of morphed into a statewide advocacy agency, still serving children who are vulnerable and in the child welfare system. So we are doing it in a different way with lawyers for children and a new project that I want to tell you about related to mental health for children. So we have many attorneys on staff and social workers on staff who every day get up and think about how can I help the life of a child?
Okay, so how do individuals get involved though with Child Advocates?
Well, we will have volunteer opportunities with our attorneys for children, where we will still go out and visit children who are in the child welfare system, checking on their well-being. You know, it's all about when a child is in the child welfare system, it's all about how much information can we give the judge, whether it's through a community volunteer or for an attorney, or if we're doing a mediation trying to resolve the issues around a child's life. So it's all about more information for the judge to consider. So community members should be involved in the child welfare system in ways that they can check that all the professionals are doing, you know, their jobs.
And when you said the issues that are around that child's life, can you break that down for us and tell us some of the issues that children are facing and why they're even in this predicament to begin with?
Well, remember, when children are brought into the child welfare system by the Department of Child Services, it's because of the action or inaction of their parents. And so, children experience trauma of the abuse and neglect, and then they experience trauma with the removal. So one of the values we've always had at Child Advocates is viewing if there are biological family members who can take the children on, let's say grandparents. Many grandparents are raising their grandbabies, and reduce that trauma of an endless cycle of foster homes or placements. So one of the things we really look to as we advocate for children as attorneys for children is, what kind of placements are they in? How many placements have they been in? Are we causing more unnecessary trauma on a child's life by doing that? And so one of the things our attorneys do is really advocate for children to be in least restrictive placements if they can be. The other really good thing we're doing actually is something that's been on our hearts and our work for a long time, and that is giving immigration relief to children who are brought here for work trafficking or sex trafficking, who are brought into the system and do not have legal papers. So we've been working really hard at providing special immigrant juvenile status for those children so they can be here legally. So everything is about what can we do to help this child at this moment.
Okay. Now, and you mentioned immigrant children, and there's been talk of so many Ukrainians coming to the United States. When you hear something like that on a national level, how do you prepare for the possibility of those immigrants coming right here to Indiana?
Well, for us, the portal will likely be a case with the Department of Child Services. So we hope that does not happen, right? So abuse or neglect. But, on the other hand, if there are children that we can help who come to our community, shouldn't we all try to find a way to help them? I think that's something that we all have really seen bubble up in people over the last, couple of years. We want to help each other. And so for us in particular, we'll work with the Department of Child Services and any community stakeholder so that we can help children either get that legal status or be in a placement with a relative, whatever we can do to help that child's life be smoother and get them on the right path. That's what we want to do.
Right. And I guess, you're right when you think about these children that you're dealing with are specifically, abused or harmed. But we think about the Ukrainian situation, it's, happening by the government. So it's kind of a mass situation, but not an individual case like you often deal with. So you mentioned programs, your programs. Can you tell us about your programs? And you said you have a new program that's coming on board?
I do. So first, I'll tell you, we continue to provide attorneys for children, both for that immigration relief and for other legal things that we can do for them, representing them in child welfare cases. We have a mediation program. We do have still our very popular Interrupting Racism for Children Race Equity Workshop that has been so popular, where we call people in to talk about issues about race, not calling them out. And we give people a foundation of history of what happened in Indiana. It's a really good conversation to have in the community. And our newest program is a partnership with the Division of Mental Health and Addiction, in which we will be the statewide access site. We won't provide the service, but we will connect the children and advocate for them to have the service of mental health wraparound services, so that a child who's experiencing serious emotional disturbances, perhaps in school, disrupting school, family, all those things, can be connected to a wraparound service that allows them to stay in their community. It's an incredible program. I'm so thrilled that we get to work with those hardworking mental health providers in Indiana. If the children are not deemed eligible, then our staff will also look for other services to keep them in their homes, to keep them in their community. So we will be doing a lot of media to talk about that. And the way people will access that is through 211. So you'll see some big, we're going to do a big media splash about that. So people will know across the state, if you call 211, you have a question about mental health needs for your child, you can get that answer and perhaps get to this service that we will connect you to.
Okay. So how many children are affected by abuse and neglect, say here in Indiana?
Well, so at any one time, I think we have something like 20,000 children in the child welfare system across the state. Wow. And so I think those numbers were probably a little lower during the pandemic because children were not involved face to face with one of the number one reporters, which are the schools, the teachers. So I think it's probably artificially lower right now. And maybe there's been an uptick as kids go back to school, but yeah, it's a lot of children. And, so one of our values, as I mentioned before, is always looking to, is there a family member who can take these children? And if one is asking, well, what can I do? I think often we really need good foster parents. If a family member can't take those children, we need foster parents in the system. And Department of Child Services can tell you how to become a foster parent. But it really is a lot for a child to be taken from their home, from their school, from their friends, and all those things. We want them to be safe, of course, but that's a lot of children in the state of Indiana.
Right. And then, as you said, those numbers may be on the lower side, but that doesn't mean that children weren't suffering within their situation, because more people were at home during COVID together.
Right.
Even, I believe, domestic violence increased.
Right.
Was that taken into account too, as far as?
Right. So
yeah.
Very similar situations, right? And so we did a PSA during the pandemic with the Department of Child Services that pretty much said, you might be the mail carrier, you might be someone who's, seeing something at a grocery store and sort of see something, say something, report it. Because what we thought was that when children aren't going to school, the teacher's not smelling if they've been cleaned, or seeing if they're super hungry, or, if they have lice in their hair, or any of those, neglect situations, and certainly can't see the bruises and all that. So, yeah, so it's very important that we all understand the pandemic had a lot of impact on us adults, but also had a lot of impact on children.
You mentioned earlier sex trafficking. How prevalent is that in Indiana? And again, we hear about it. We don't always see it, but it's there.
It is there. And we have a lot of work trafficked children here. So I think it's a serious enough problem that we all should be looking for the signs. You'll see those signs of, what to look for. I noticed last time I went on a plane, they actually had some information in the airport restroom about, these certain symptoms or certain attributes that you could see about young people in planes. It's an area in which we're all looking at, because once children come in here to our community, and they can get into the system, we need to represent their interests and get them out of that system to a safe home.
Okay. So Cindy, what do you want people to know about child advocates that we don't know, or we haven't really thought about?
Well, we're turning 40 this year. So that's a lot of years, a lot of really great people who have worked hard, have a lot of knowledge about the child welfare system. We're so thankful to be able to work alongside mental health professionals now, helping children across the state access mental health needs. I think, 40 is a great time to reflect on all we've done and look ahead to how many more children in different ways we can serve children. So one of the things that was gratifying about this new project is we were able to bring some of our former employees back to child advocates and work in this new project. So that has been just a wonderful thing. We had a staff luncheon yesterday, which was really great. Yesterday, which was really great to see everyone. And they're all just ready. Okay, so here's a new project. Let's see how we're going to put it together. And we're looking forward to seeing children in every county.
Wow. Well, we appreciate all that you do for children. And I tell you, you really bring it to mind. A lot of times you're just not thinking about it, and that there's a lot more going on that, we don't see it on the news at 6 o'clock. And so we appreciate you coming on and sharing it and showing us, what's really happening out there. You have billboards out right now. I think I saw on West 86th Street.
You love those billboards. They're so nice to us. They keep them up until they have someone new to put on there.
There you go.
We love those billboards because, I had an attorney one time who was sitting at 82nd and Allisonville, and he said, I just saw your billboard. I've been thinking about helping you guys for a long time. And here I am, that billboard. So you never know. It might be, this interview. It might be a radio ad or something, and then somebody will see something and they'll go, okay, that's the time for me to help or to donate.
Yeah, and that baby's face that you have up there, the little, oh my gosh, like it melts your heart in traffic. You'd be out there mad at traffic, like, oh, that's okay. You can take your time and run in, in front of me. That's okay. It just really warms your heart, but we appreciate it. Well, thanks so much, Cindy Booth, who is the CEO of Child Advocates here in Central Indiana. Thanks so much for joining us on Inside Indy.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us here on Inside Indy. I'm Kelly Vaughn, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Kamara. We love making a difference in the lives of people with various skin conditions. Join us in assisting people internationally with tuition assistance, food and clothing, and medical care while raising awareness about their conditions and empowering people with the tools they need to be successful.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Last year, Habitat for Missions flipped houses to build a trade school in Uganda for orphans, to expand another school in India for little girls that were at risk of industrial or sexual slavery. Right now, we are in the process of doing a build specifically for a group called Beyond the Storm, a disaster relief organization here in the U.S. We have in the past raised money for missionary doctors, for Bible college professors, for church planters on every continent of the world except Antarctica, and we're ready to do more. We've had inquiries from missionaries in Russia just recently, another one serving in Zambia, and all we're doing is looking for more homes that we can put our tradesmen to work to renovate them, to sell those homes so that we can continue to donate money to Christian Mission. So if you're interested in selling a house, please contact us.
Because of you, I felt hopeless. I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me. Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.